What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another installment of Ben Active. So today I'd like to share some tips and information with you guys on shoulder injuries, which are actually one of the most common injuries related to any active lifestyle, especially when you get older. Because when you're in your teenage years, up to about your late 20s, you seem to be like Superman or Supergirl, and nothing can stand in your way. You just train like an animal, like a beast. And usually from about 30 onwards, your body starts saying, hey man, some things are starting to change around here, and some things are starting to hurt. Now here's the thing, women are less guilty of this, but guys, boys, when we start training, we want to be static. We want to see who can bench press the heaviest on International Chest Mondays. And what do you sacrifice first when you go as heavy as you can? Form. That movement probably comes from so many places that only half the muscle is actually doing what it should be doing when you're doing that movement. Like this idiot. I mean, what is that? Now, I've been working through some shoulder injuries myself, recovering from surgery 1 year ago, and left shoulder also starting to join the party, which luckily doesn't seem like it's going to need surgery for now. And I'm just doing some physio on that at the moment, which actually kind of motivated me to create this video and share all the experiences, a lot of stuff that I've actually learned. And obviously when you go through something, you kind of study it on the side to make sure that you know as much as you possibly can, to just be informed. And I have to add, this isn't because of how I'm training now. This has been coming on from a long time of just hitting it too hard in the gym and learning as you go along. So let's take a look at the anatomy of the shoulder to basically get a better understanding of how it works and what actually happens. The rotator cuff is a group of 4 muscles deep in the shoulder that originate from the scapula or the shoulder blade and attaches to the humerus or the upper arm bone. This provides stability at the shoulder joint. So the pectoralis major, deltoid, trapezius, and latissimus dorsi are some of the larger muscles involved in moving our shoulder. The rotator cuff muscles are found underneath these muscles: the supraspinatus, the infraspinatus, teres minor, and on the front or anterior side, the subscapularis muscle. So here are some of the most common situations that you would get. When you hurt your shoulder, the muscles become very tight as a self-defense mechanism. And this causes lots of strain on the tendons as you try and fight that tightness. And then that strain causes swelling. When one of the main areas where that might actually cause a problem is on the supraspinatus, because this muscle actually connects to the humerus or the upper arm bone right underneath the acromion. Now there's already limited space for movement there, and once this muscle or tendon actually becomes swollen, it starts creating friction with the actual bone, and that's when it becomes inflamed. Now this just won't heal without giving attention to it. And if you continuously just try to work through the pain, as they say, you might actually end up tearing that muscle. Now most cases might actually just be slight pulling of one of these mentioned muscles, tendons, or their ligaments, and it should simply be able to be sorted out with a week or 2 of resting and recovery. In some other cases, you actually might have a slight or partial tear in the muscle. And if it is small or marginal enough, you might still get away with it just being rested with some medication and recovery. But the bigger the tear, the more the chances are that you might actually need surgery for it. Another problem that also occurs is calcification on the bone by the soft tissue. Now this will continuously create inflammation with friction with every slight movement. And the thing is, you can't permanently keep taking anti-inflammatories for the rest of your life to keep that swelling down. Sometimes they would suggest as a first step a cortisone injection to bring the inflammation down and let it heal and see if it sometimes resolves on its own. But in most cases, that is just a temporary solution and you still would need surgery to clean that calcification off the bone for smooth movement again. Now, you won't know what the problem is unless you go and have it checked. Trust me on this, I wasted about 3 months of just going to physio thinking I would get the issue resolved, only realizing later that I actually went to go get x-rays that I definitely needed surgery. So I was actually creating more damage. So what I'm actually saying is go to a doctor first. And in some cases, when you do go to a doctor, they might actually also by default, depending on what you explain to them, how you feel, what you're experiencing, they might actually also suggest that you go to physio from there. They would refer you to a physiotherapist. But my piece of advice to you is, at that point, directly ask to also be referred to get an x-ray. That way you can get the x-ray results back, the doctor can check it out, and he can let you know what they see, and at least you will have a green light on that, knowing that you can carry on with the physio, that there's no other deeper issues involved. Now, whichever way this goes, if it's going to be the x-ray, or if it needs to go to surgery, or if it's just straightforward the physiotherapy, the one part I want to add on that is as well, the physiotherapist will give you a bunch of exercises to do. And one of the things that I hear most often as well is people do not do those exercises simply because they say they don't have time, or they sometimes even admit they're just too lazy to do it. But I'll tell you from everybody that I've spoken to, the conversations were always pretty similar, saying, you know, I wish I did those exercises. I wish that I did a proper recovery according to what they told me to do. So out of this, my advice to you is just whatever exercises you get to do, or whatever routines you get to do for physiotherapy at home, get the bands you need to get, do the exercises religiously. At least that way you know that you have the best chances of making a full recovery and being able to carry on doing what you really love to do. Now, I hope you found this video useful, and as always, if you did, please remember to like and subscribe. And my motivational quote for the day will be, we make a living by what we get, we make a life by what we give. So, until next time, guys, peace.